On our calendar, next Sunday has been designated as Mother's Day. It's been a it's been a celebration of mothers for a great many years. And on that occasion, in a lot of religious places of worship, there is one particular passage that's referred to, sometimes extensively. It's in the book of Proverbs, the very last chapter, Proverbs 31. Verses 10 of that chapter down through verse 31 form an acrostic poem. What's an acrostic poem? Beginning in verse 10, the very first word of verse 10 in Hebrew starts with the very first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And then each next verse picks up with the next letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, and it goes on and on. It's like if we were writing in English, having a poem describing that virtuous woman, that very special godly mother, and each verse in that poem begins with the next letter. We start with A, and then B, and then C, and then D. I'd like to highlight a few of those that you find in this chapter. To begin with, in Proverbs 31 and verse 10, the question is asked, who can find a virtuous wife, for her worth is far above rubies? Her worth is priceless. Well, what kind of qualities actually are found in that godly woman, that virtuous woman, that wife and that mother that is pictured in these verses? In verse number 11, the heart of her husband safely trusts in her. He'll have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. There are decisions that she makes that are invaluable. Wisdom is something that resides very much within her. And there's a reason for that trust. And he knows that whatever decision she makes will be to the benefit of those that she loves, the family that is hers. Then in verse number 13, she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. There's an industrious nature about her. It's not just the determination, the decisiveness, the way that she thinks, the wisdom she possesses, but the work that she finds herself involved in for the sake of her family. Verse number 15, she rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household. Productivity of that mother and that family. Verse number 20, she extends her hand to the poor, yet she reaches out her hand to the needy. The hospitality, the care for others around her. Here's somebody who has a very giving heart. She's concerned about the well-being of her family, but it goes beyond that. Verse number 25. Strength and honor are her clothing. The characteristics of her actually deal with a tremendous heart, that strength and that honor as she cares for others and cares for her family. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue are the words of kindness. Wisdom not just in her decisions, the wisdom in her words. She watches over the ways of her household, verse 27, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Concerned for the family, mentioned once again. The very next verse, verse 28, her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband calls her blessed also and praises her. Honor and respect from every member of that household. And she has lived in such a way that she deserves that honor and that respect. Verse number 30. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, or passes away, it's fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. The care and the concern she has for those around her are boundless. There are special people all around us. There are special people in our culture and our society. And the individual, the woman of the household, the mother, that cares more for her children, cares more for those that are needy than she does for herself, is to be honored and respected and cherished. That does not need to be a scarcity in culture. And yet in some ways that kind of focus may not be exactly today what it once was. Because people are pulled in so many different directions that the care and concern that many people have in positions of Responsibility, the care and concern, if we're not careful, can focus back on self rather than on others. Don't wait till Mother's Day to tell your mother or your wife how precious they are, how invaluable they are, how special they are in the sight of God. Give thanks for them all week long. Please stay safe. We'll talk again soon.